I am resident of Colorwood for YouTube. Jules Sains, that is my buddy Patrick McCray. We are here to do
Hello.
episode 103. Um, very interesting. This episode picks up where Roger is looking for Vicky in the great house. Vicky has snuck out of the great house. Roger does not know that. Roger uh, goes up to Vicky's room. She is not there. Obviously, she's gone. She's gone out of the house. She is headed into town, and in town, inside the Blue Whale, is where she is talking to one Burke Devlin. And you have a conversation of Burke and Vicky, and Burke Devlin are, though they're the only ones sitting at their table, not too far away from them is Maggie Evans, and Maggie Evans is actually waiting on Sam. Now, what I like about this is Sam's not there yet, but he will be soon. And you have Vicky and Burke having a conversation, and Vicky actually tells uh, Burke what Roger said. Roger admitted to her about he set up a meeting between him and Bill Malloy at Lookout Point. And Burke's in shock. He said, Roger actually admitted to this. And Vicky's like, yes, he did. And he says, he also says he didn't kill Bill Malloy. And he goes, of course he didn't. Of course he's going to say that. Vicky says, I don't know. I kind of believe him. Like why he did take his car, because a lot of things Roger does say is true. He did take his car. He left shortly after 10:30, even though he had Vicky lie to the sheriff and say he didn't leave until like 15 minutes till 11 or whatever. And it's like he met Bill Malloy at Lookout Point, and when he got there, he didn't see Bill, and Bill didn't see him until he looks down at the rocks, and Bill Malloy's body was laying there. He assumed Bill Malloy fell, because what else was he to assume?
Sure.
You also
Well,
have
Bill liked to drink.
yeah, yes, he
I'm
did.
sure he fell more than once.
Well, that's the thing too. There is the episode where Bill Malloy does get drunk, to get the truth out of Sam Evans.
Sure. That was the cover story.
Yeah, that's the cover story.
What are you doing there, Bill? I'm trying to get the truth out of yeah. We've all been there. No, it's all right.
And you actually do get to see Sam walking the docks, coming toward the Blue Whale. He walks into the Blue Whale and he sits down next to Maggie, and Maggie says, I'm glad he came. I was starting to think my own father was going to stand me up. So this is not a date with Joe Haskell. She just wants to talk to her dad. And she wants to tell her dad what Vicky had said to her. And she does. She tells Sam that Vicky knows who killed Bill Malloy. And Sam is interested in this. He goes, well, who does she say it was? She said she didn't exactly say who it was, but I think she was hinting around about who it was. And Sam Evans said, Roger Collins. And I think Maggie is like, I think so. So a lot of people are starting to think, or maybe presume, that Roger killed Bill. I do think this is a bit of the writers having a little fun here, which I got to give Francis Swan a lot of credit the way he wrote this episode, because I love a good murder mystery. Now, we both know who kills Bill Malloy. It's Matthew Morgan. But I don't know, Patrick, how do you feel about murder mysteries?
I mean, I think it is one of the great literary models of all time. I mean, heck, really the first, one of the moments the Bible really picks up as a narrative is when you get a murder mystery. And I'm serious about that. I mean, there's a murder mystery at the beginning of the book. Who killed Abel, and the mystery doesn't last long. I think
No.
Probably, Doofus is bragging about it or something, but or Satan rats on him or something happened. I don't know. I haven't read that in a while, but something like that. Sure, because I mean, the primary person to whom the action has been done, the subject, if you will, can't
Yeah.
can't say anything.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, just dealing with death anyway is such a bizarre existential thing because the most important person in the room can do nothing. You know,
Yeah.
they can't communicate with you. It's a really a strange moment, and so spinning that into literature, I think, is in some ways a way of dealing with that.
Yeah. I really enjoy how too you get Vicky. Vicky knows she has no choice but to go back to the house. She can't ride to Bangor with Burke because that Burke is going to go to Bangor to get the pen from Blair, the other
Yeah,
pen, because there are only five or four pens like that in the world, and Burke had one, and Blair has the other. Um, so he's going to go get the other pen from Blair, and he's got a plan in mind. Now we don't know what that plan is. Uh, at least we don't know story wise, but we know. He's going to show the pen in front of the sheriff, in front of Roger, and say, "Oh, this pen," and Roger's obviously going to deny whatever or whatever
sure.
he's going to do.
That's what he does, the
Uh,
weasel.
now, but he that now that doesn't happen this episode, but I'm giving a sort of a sneak
Sure.
peek of
Yeah, no,
later.
I've been there.
Uh, but yeah, I really like how dark the black and white is one of the best lighting uses in Dark Shadows because it really gives you that light and shadow feel, very touch of noir, and you have a very dark lit house. And Victoria Winters is hearing strange sounds from her bedroom. Um, and Roger Collins says, uh, I thought you were asleep. Or you were asleep. You must have heard words. And she goes, I was not asleep. So what Roger is trying to do here is drive Vicky crazy or make Vicky seem like she's crazy to sort of discredit her, because he's worried. He doesn't want anything coming back on him, even though he's not necessarily guilty of it. He just wants any heat away from him.
Sure.
Um, what do you think of early Roger Collins?
Well, it's a different character. I know that the character was not destined to stay on the show for very
Yeah.
long. He was going to be written out. Who was going to kill him, or how was he going to die? Was he going to like kill himself over the guilt regarding Burke, or what?
He was going to throw, I believe he was going to kill himself by throwing himself off Widow's Hill.
Okay, because he was in love with Bill Malloy, and it will make him feel closer to him.
No, you
Oh,
sort
that
of get
would
a
have been
touch
better.
of, you get a touch of a hint of maybe how it was all supposed to go in this episode when you're paying like Roger comes across very paranoid in this episode.
My God. Well, yeah. I mean, the whole beginning of the series is just
Yeah,
this
yeah,
tightly coiled ball of rage and you
yeah,
know homicide.
he's a very paranoid character. Roger's own paranoia was supposed to get the better of him, like everybody was turning against him. Um and he was supposed to throw himself over Widow's Hill. It's like, but I
Now,
think
if now here's a good just a side note. If Roger were a very kinky girl, would he be the kind you would not bring home to mother, or you would?
um
Or
I
is
mean
he just a super freak? Super freak.
I'd bring him home to my mom. I mean,
That's
sure.
nice. I think that's good. Roger needs that. Okay, go on, Jewel. I just, I was burning with that question or something that requires an ointment. Continue.
No, no, but I think too. Lewis said the reason I think the writers changed it. It's easy to see how charming Lewis Edmonds has made this character at times.
Sure.
I'm not saying he's all the way charming all the time. He's not, but he has. I don't know. There's something about the flair that Lewis Edmonds brings to the early Roger Collins. He brings a curiosity and a natural appeal to that character. And I think that's something Lewis doesn't get enough credit for. And I'd like to think that's perhaps why the writers changed it. That too, that and I mean, look, by this time, Art Wallace is gone, well gone. He's no longer writing the show at all. Francis Swan and Ron Sproat have more than taken up the writing duties here. Um, and so they're gonna have some changes for the character in mind, because I do think they sort of saw how Lewis Edmonds was portraying the character. I know Joe Caldwell writes episodes too, I believe, um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head which ones, but I know
Could it
that.
be that these guys were just down at the local bar
Mhm.
and, they were known to people? They didn't have jobs. They were just hanging out. And, they kept, the Art Wallace never told them that he wasn't coming back. And so
Yeah.
every day they'd be waiting on a new script. And then after a while, it wouldn't show up. And so they would go down and they say, "Hey, what do you think happens?" And they would just mutter something. And then the actors would improv around it. And that happened for the rest of the series.
I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily improv. I do
No,
think
it
there's.
wasn't. Jewel, I'm
Yeah,
making the haha.
I know. I don't think it was improv, obviously, because you do have credited writers. What I think the writers do really, really well is they they take they go off what Art Wallace started off with, and they add changes here or there that they see fit, that fit the personality of the character that has somewhat been presented, like Roger's flair and dramatic. They keep some of the paranoia here in this episode, but Roger's also charming. He's very flamboyant. Now he's not as flamboyant
It's,
as.
he is flamboyant. That's the good term.
He's not as
You're not
flamboyant as.
speaking in code at all, are you, Jewel?
No, no, he's
Not
not as.
one bit.
No, he's not as flamboyant as, let's say, Quentin or Barnabas.
Or, Wayland Flowers and Madam, or yeah.
But he there is a certain charm to Lewis Edmonds.
Oh,
There is,
vast charm.
there he brings a certain kind of flair to Roger Collins that is really, really welcomed. Again, I also think too, you really love the sibling rivalry between Elizabeth and Roger.
Sure.
You can tell it's there. And Lewis Edmonds and Joan were just so quick on their feet. The 1-2 punch. And even though you do get Roger sort of flirting with Victoria Winters at times and Roger calling Carolyn Kitten, you do have, it's like, okay, what did happen to Roger's wife? You do just sort of
And she just
vol-
got bored.
yeah, it's like, what happened to Roger's wife? What happened to David's mom here? Like, we
Yeah.
know she's alive, but it's like, where is
Yeah.
she? Like,
Well,
what happened?
here's the question. What happened to David's dad? Well, Roger framed him for, vehicular homicide.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Burke Devlin. Um, yeah, but I do like the plots they're setting up here for the pen.
Uh-huh.
And what I love most about this episode is, even though there's no ghost in this episode, you're able to keep the terror because Alexander is selling the fear of going back into the house. Um, Even though she wants to believe Roger's story, she's not sure what Roger's capable of. And that sort of gives the audience of, okay, we're sort of terrified for Vicky here a bit. you know,
Sure.
it, any great horror trope is to, okay, be afraid for the young, beautiful, pretty protagonist. And Dark Shadows did a really good job doing that time and time again.
It did.
But eh, do you have a favorite scene in this one?
In that episode,
Yeah,
no. It's not to say I dislike it.
right.
It is so many soap opera episodes, especially, of this era of just the medium of the soap medium
Hmm.
are about getting to the next episode.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that I really come back to again and again with this. What about you?
I do agree with you in that sense that all soaps are, for the majority, are about getting to the next episode. What I've noticed about mostly about Dark Shadows too, with out of 103 episodes, okay,
Okay.
so far I've only counted two filler episodes that were earlier, and
Uh-huh.
here now you don't have any filler yet, so you have all this things that they are building toward. Again, they're building toward Matthew Morgan being the killer. They're building toward the reveal that Roger isn't the murderer. They're building toward the ghost still, because Josette did appear just in the previous episode. So it's like, okay, why? Because your question, if you're an audience member in 1966, your question is, why are these ghosts here?
Yes.
Why have they showed up? Like, you might have guessed, okay, they're around, but okay, now you see them. Why
Now
are
you
they?
don't.
And then sometimes you don't. So it's like, okay, why are they here? We know what Bill Malloy's ghost was here for. He told Vicky to leave, and we know Bill Malloy was murdered. So Bill Malloy has revealed to Victoria Winters, "Hey, I was murdered." So are there going to be more ghosts that reveal other things? And Dark Shadows asks that question, and it leaves you hanging and hanging till you have the ghost get complete vengeance against Matthew Morgan, and it's just holy shit.
That is one hell of an episode. How many episodes are we away from that?
Let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Let me look.
I think it's like
Uh,
365 or something. No, that can't be it. It's
no,
Barnabas running
no,
around now. That's what am I saying?
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, but it's. Let me see here. Let's see the fourth. Let's see. Matthew discloses the secret. David offers help with Matthew. Vicky tries to convince Burke that Roger has nothing to do with the death of Bill. Vicky loses her wallet. Matthew cannot bring himself to kill Victoria, but informs her that she must die. Um, Joe and Burke
Does he
search.
apologize when he says that? Is that
No, hold on. Let's see. Joe and Burke search the old house for Matthew. Holds Victoria captive in the secret room. Uh, let's see. Matthew hears a ghost voice. Then an eerie light coming. Episode 122. That is, I think.
okay?
Uh, so so that's interesting. We don't get Matthew's death for quite some time yet. Um, but it is going to happen. I mean,
That really was that. I would say that's the first Dark Shadows episode, personally, for me, that really grabbed me.
yeah,
Was that one?
because you have the supernatural seeking justice.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
And things happen. I
yeah,
mean, a lot happens there. I think, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting episode. Uh,
yeah.
for my money.
Yeah. It gives you the inclination too that the ghost can affect the living in more ways than one. If they want to take
Yes,
action, if they want to really take action, they can. Um, they kill Bill Malloy. They force him to have a heart attack. Um, her and the widows. It's her, the widows, and Bill Malloy. They all like gang up on him.
I
Um,
remember.
and the thing of it is, when you get Sarah Collins later on, which is going to be when we talk 258, which is the reason I picked 258 is to talk about the ghost of Sarah.
Hmm.
I mean, you know as well as I do what Sarah does with Barnabas when he's choking Julia. She just
Sure.
comes in. She just comes in that house and lays down the law.
I believe that would be 364.
Yeah.
Am I
Well,
right? Did I do
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
and
good.
that's the thing too. I mean, the ghost in Dark Shadows, from a storytelling standpoint, are mattering more and more. Even though we only heard about them in the very first that we heard of the hey, the house is haunted in the first episode. We've been hearing about ghosts from David. It's like finally when we see a ghost, it's like, okay, was that a ghost? Then we do see a ghost. We see the ghost of Josette, we see the ghost of Bill Malloy, then we do see the widows. It's the effects team did a great job.
They did. They did. Considering everything that they had to work with and not work with, it was tremendous.
Yeah. I actually showed a friend of mine who runs a YouTube channel. Let's see, what is it? God, I'm gonna kick myself. Shout out to Ryan Bowers, Everyday Horror.
Brian,
Um,
he's a great guy.
yeah, he runs a YouTube channel where he talks about the paranormal, and and uh, I showed Ryan the video of where Josette comes out of the portrait, and he's a pretty big skeptic of ghosts, and he's like, I know that's fake, but that looked real.
That's great. That's great. But he did understand that it was fake, right?
Yes, yes. He
You
said,
didn't
I
convert
know.
him to, you
Yeah,
know,
he
your
said
pagan
that.
belief.
Yeah. He said that. He goes, I know that's fake, but holy shit, that looked real. Um,
Yeah,
which is a great compliment to the effects team.
it is.
Just looked amazing. So, what do you think? What did you think of Mitchell Ryan's Burke Devlin?
He's he's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah,
what a character. Now he is a character who is not already destined to be able to handle the supernatural, which is
right.
why I think he made his exit eventually. But I think it's one of the great characters on the show.
Yeah,
This is undeniable.
yeah.
What do you think?
I think he's
You
an
want to
awesome
fight?
kid.
You want to fight? You want to fight about it? I'll
Never,
fight
never.
you, Jules Sains. I'll
Yeah.
fight you right now about that. What do you like? I bet you're a big Anthony George fan. That's what you were about to say. Mitch
Uh,
Ryan's fine, but Anthony George, that's a real man,
I think
right?
both.
Because
I
you've
think.
said that to me backstage before,
Oh my gosh.
and you threw a Whitman sampler in my face.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
No,
gosh.
no, that happened.
Oh my gosh. I think both men did a really great job. Um, Mitchell Ryan gave the character its beginnings and its strengths and its familiarity of the fans. He brought such a presence to that role. I think when Anthony George did, he was a much different. It was a much different. The role was differently wrote for him than it was Mitchell Ryan. Um, he did do some of Mitch Ryan's Burke Devil and isms, if you will. He did threaten Barnabas. He did check on Barnabas's background. But there's things you pointed out to me that I got to give you a lot of credit for. You asked me if Mitchell Ryan was still playing Burke Devlin, would Mitch Ryan have showed up in Jeremiah's costume? And I said no, he would not have. Um, so I think that's
No,
a big
if Dan Curtis had made him,
well,
that's
well, I think too it did sort of seem uncharacteristic of Burke to do it. You know what I mean? Is the point I think
sure,
you were trying to make, and I agree.
probably.
And I agree with you. It is to me that was sort of uncharacteristic of Burke. Again, though, too, can characters change? Sure, because they're fictional people, and you have to write them as such where okay, this person is changing, and the reason Burke is changing is because of Victoria Winters.
Yes.
So there is that. But is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, I think these are always. Here's the thing about these early episodes. I think it's kind of like Three Stooges,
Yeah.
in which they're often compared to, but seriously, one is really surprisingly gripping
Yeah.
in a row. Two, okay, okay. Three maybe too much to all watch in a row, but if taken just kind of on their own terms, a little bit at a time, they're really surprisingly very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, the actors really sell their ass off.
They
Um,
do, they
I
do, and they
mean,
had to have surgery afterwards once they were retrieved from the pawn shop.
yeah. Yeah.
I still have Craig Slocum's on ice in my freezer. That he never got back. True story. True
Oh
story.
my god.
What are you gonna? My mom would say, "What do you do with Craig Slocum's ass?" I said, "Okay, Mom, stop right there. Stop right
Uh,
there. It's a collectible.
oh
It's a
my god.
collectible." He said,
Uh,
"Collectible." Huh? I said, "It's a collectible." So I never saw a collectible like that when I was a kid. Collectible baseball cards. I said, "Well, it's the future, and things are different, Mom. Now a collectible is no longer a baseball card. It's Craig Slocum's keister." And she said, "Okay." She said, "Okay, but I'll tell you what. If I don't have my glasses on, I'm looking to make beef stew. I'm gonna grab any piece of meat in that freezer and chop it up and put it in the crock pot." I remember one day I'm eating from the crock pot. And, God, this stew is great, Mom. She said, "That's fine. Yeah, I got it out of the freezer. It's just had the initial CS on it." I go, "Oh my God. Do you know what we've been eating?" So she just said, "Let's not talk about it." And I said, "Okay," and we kept chowing down.
oh my
Tony
god.
Chachere's really brought out the best in Craig Slocum's buttocks in a stew, is what I'm saying.
Uh, God bless you,
David
Patrick.
Ford. Now with that guy, you needed like an 8-quart crock pot. I mean, it was, holy cow. That was, didn't invite the neighbors over for that.
Oh my god.
I'm just
God
saying.
God bless you, Patrick McCray. God
Well,
bless
somebody
you.
needs to. He's got to find me first. That's the thing. I've been on the run. God is like investigative reporter Jack McGee on the Incredible Hulk, and I'm Bill Bixby. One day he is the mountain. One day the mountain might get him, but the law never will.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Either way,
you
the
you
only way I know how, Jewel.
you are the man. You are the
I
man.
am
Good
both
sir.
Duke boys, and I got nitroglycerin tipped arrows to prove it,
Uh, yeah,
aimed at the heart.
yeah. Yeah. So we'll do episode 258 tomorrow night.
If you
Uh,
might, you're gonna have me back, you fool. All right, let's
yes,
do it.
of
It's
course.
on.
Of course. Of course. So we'll do 258 tomorrow. I'll message Alan. Um, well, this is a really fun episode, and these episodes, after 103 episodes, and I know I'm going to sound like a big Dark Shadows fan. I
That's
am,
okay. You are a big
but
dark. I mean, that's the
but
point. That's why
I
we're
I
doing
really
this.
I really love still going back and watching the episodes because they're just so much fun. It still feels like you're going on that journey. You're on that train with that girl from New York, and you're going to Collinwood. It
Now, you're not
really.
riding that train high on cocaine, are you? Because that's no, we gotta turn this thing
No,
around right.
no. I've
Okay.
never done drugs, but
Okay.
li-
It's
li-
like I tell. It's like I tell students. You don't use bathroom. Bathroom uses you.
that's right.
Anyway,
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound will be in the description
more
box.
unbound than normal tonight.
Yeah, go pick it up if you haven't already. Uh, and a lot of other links in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Colin Sport After Dark, is going to be in the description box. Link to Gordon Mowski's Amazon page and website is going to be in the description box. Link to Between the Shadows, a Dark Shadows podcast, is going to be in
Oh
the
yeah,
description box.
good.
Yeah. And link to Penny Dreadful's Terror Collinwood is going to be in the description box. So everybody, you have a great night. Patrick,
Hey, Joel, wait. Before you go,
what's up?
can you put in another link?
Sure.
The Collinsport Historical Society is back up.
Cool. Send me.
And you can, and if you go, there's collinsfordhistoricalsociety.com, and if you go there and click on the sidebar of Dark Shadows Daybook, you can get just the daybook. And
Cool.
so, maybe you put a link up to that.
I will most certainly do that. I will most certainly do that as well. So, the Collinsport Historical Society website is back up and kicking ass, and that's great news to hear.
Don't smell
So
it, shoe.
that's right. You have a great night, Patrick. Be safe.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.